Hello, beautiful souls. How are you? Today I was writing in my journal. It's something that I've been doing for a very long time. And I was writing about the relationship between belief and experience. And although what I was writing about here was actually particularly about my attachment style and my relationship to dating and to men, I realized when I got to the end of writing about it that it applies to ME/CFS as well. Because when it comes to recovery and it comes to learning how to trust yourself again and to be able to take steps towards expanding your baseline, so much of our experience is informed by our beliefs around the illness, and yet so much of our beliefs have been formed by our experience. When we have a belief around our ability to recover, it's usually formed around the experience of not being able to recover. It's very hard to begin to take steps towards changing our relationship with activity and expanding if we don't also shift the beliefs. And since one informs the other, we kind of can get stuck in this catch-22. So I just wanted to read to you guys my journal entry. And this has to do, like I said, with attachment and my relationship to my own self-worth. But when I'm finished reading it, I'll share with you how this might apply to your recovery with ME/CFS. One of the best things that has happened to me on this almost 8-month trip overseas is I have experienced a huge belief shift from one of not being wanted by men to one of being completely wanted and desired just as I am. As my beliefs as a young woman informed my experience, as I chose men who were not available and got hurt by them, and this lowered my self-worth, I also pursued and attracted and chased men who would not choose me, which then in turn informed my beliefs and honed my experiences. The more I chased men who would not choose me, the more unlovable I started to believe I was. And the more unlovable I started to believe I was, the lower my standards became in an all-out quest to be loved. And so the experiences I kept attracting and allowing kept also informing and confirming my beliefs. And all of this dredged up a cycle deeper and deeper with more hurt, more pain, and more dysregulation. But here overseas, after 2 years of really working on my self-healing, I realized that belief and experience can create a powerful cause and effect, and it can be very hard to believe that you are lovable when your experience has proven otherwise. It can be hard to choose other experiences to inform new beliefs when beliefs are so strong. I had to start reframing my beliefs even though my experience told me otherwise. I had to stop telling myself the story I believed so I could choose differently. But I also had to start choosing differently, even though I wasn't sure if I believed the new beliefs. Are you starting to see maybe a parallel here with ME/CFS? This meant walking away from someone who wasn't choosing me, even though it felt so scary to say goodbye. It meant finding my voice and learning to say no, even though everything inside me was telling me it wasn't safe to be heard. It meant severing ties with someone in order to stay connected to myself. And this new practice started to change both my confidence and self-worth, but it also changed who I was attracting and created new experiences that further supported the new beliefs, which made it easier to act in this new way. Better, healthier experiences, more confidence, more self-love, until the reality and the belief shifted into an entirely new paradigm. The reason I share that with you guys is because it's very hard to begin to tell yourself a different story, that you are recovering, that recovery is possible, that you're not inherently broken, that, your nervous system is actually overreacting and there's not actually anything intrinsically wrong with your heart or your spleen or your lungs. Because your experience has told you that you're dying. Your experience has told you that activity, for instance, is dangerous. And so how can you believe something when your experience has told you the opposite? The way you do this is you have to start taking steps doing both, understanding that one is going to start to influence the other. As you start to see that you can expand, as you start to see that activity is not inherently dangerous when done properly. And as that starts to happen, it will help to strengthen the belief that you are in fact recovering. But you also want to change your beliefs now before you've had the experience so that you can start to take steps towards new activity. So I hope that this kind of helps you to understand how one influences the other. I am rooting for you always and in all ways.